Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for a moment of silence.
Hello Homestead, it's Friday, August 25th, and time for this school year's first episode of HHS In Depth. I'm Jack Adams.
And I'm Ellie Davis. On today's show, you'll hear from Mr. Ginder and our annual beginning of the school year sit-down interview to learn about new things for this year.
You'll get a recap of this week's solar eclipse and how students and faculty took part in observing it while at school.
Some Homestead students got the opportunity to travel to Costa Rica over summer break, and we'll tell you how that experience was for them.
And Garrett Willis debuts his 2-minute drill with a look at our girls golf team.
We'll have all of those stories and much more, so stay tuned for today's episode of HHS In Depth.
We begin today's show with our annual sit-down interview to start the new school year with Principal Mr. Ginder. Reporter Sydney Scholl recently caught up with Mr. Ginder to learn about all his thoughts on the upcoming school year.
With the new school year just beginning, Principal Mr. Ginder welcomes the returning students for another great year and guarantees the students new to the building will quickly adapt to the many opportunities that Homestead has to offer.
To all those students that are new to Homestead, whether you're a freshman, a transfer from somewhere else, you moved in from out of state or even out of country, we're glad to have you. We're excited that you're a Spartan, and I think you're going to find that the more you pour yourself into activities, athletics, music, the arts, clubs, the better off you're going to be. You're going to get to know other students here at Homestead and find out what it's like to be a Spartan.
All of the talk last year of a new academic logo has finally become a reality, and Mr. Ginder is proud of the resulted product and what it represents for Homestead.
If you look closely at the academic logo, what you're going to see is the four corners of north, south, east, and west, and then a small little yellow tick on the southwest corner pointing our direction. That's kind of a hidden symbol within the logo. And then there's also, of course, our school colors, and the lamp of learning, and a bell. And the bell represents old Lafayette Center, the one-room schoolhouse, and that bell has been a part of a lot of different logos over the years. And then you also notice that it says 1970, the first year that Homestead opened.
Each year is special for different reasons, but most excitement from administration lies with the success of individual students and their high school journeys.
For me, it's all about students being successful. That's the most important thing, that they are able to prepare themselves for their post-secondary goals, whether that's college, the military, or the world of work. We want you to have the chance to be who you want to be. And so that's how we've designed everything to do, is so that you can chart out a path for yourself. It's not about what Ginder did, it's not about what some other teacher did, but it's about what you need to do what you want to do as you get older.
Last spring, we learned about Mr. Ginder's discovery and battle with cancer. We are now pleased to learn that he is happy, healthy, and ready for all that the new year has in store.
As many of you know, I was sick last spring and missed quite a bit of school. My cancer treatments have gone really, really well. I'm done with the first, what you might think of as series of chemo treatments. Had my last one the weeks of school registration. And now for the next 2 years, I have a treatment once every 3 months. And I'm in good shape, I'm in no danger. I want to thank everybody for their care and their love, their kind words and everything. The hugs in the hallways, all that stuff meant an awful lot to me. But I'm in a good place and things are going well.
Just like every year, Mr. Ginder is excited for the fresh start and encourages students to become involved in activities and school functions to make this year the best one yet. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Sydney Scholl.
Attention Ivy Tech dual credit students. The deadline to complete all of the forms required to earn college credit for your courses is today. Please go to your class of 2018, 19, 20, or 21 group in Canvas and follow those directions carefully. Today is the last day. Do not miss this chance to earn free college credit.
In 2 weeks, hit it off with the Homestead Tennis Club on Tuesday, September 5th, right after school in Mrs. Merkling's room, room 206. Refreshments will be served, so make sure to stop in, check it out in 2 Tuesdays in room 206.
Do you find yourself lost in your imagination, doodling randomness in the margins of your notebook? Do you like looking, discussing, and learning about artists and their artwork? Do you like getting messy and trying new ways to experiment with a variety of art media? If so, then Art Club is for you. They will be having an informational meeting on Tuesday, August 29th in room 108 from 2:45 to 3:15. See Mrs. Jones with any questions.
Dare to be a force of nature and join Homestead's Environmental Club. The first meeting will be held next Tuesday in Mrs. Merkling's room, room 206. Take a friend and stop by to hear about the exciting things in store this year.
Earlier this week, the entire nation was captivated by the rare phenomenon of the solar eclipse. Reporter Kelsey Nutter got out to see how Homestead students got involved.
The solar eclipse, the natural phenomenon which occurred this past Monday, had been viewed by many Homestead students and faculty. Many questions arose this week pertaining to the eclipse that our very own teachers have answers to.
There's not a difference from looking at the regular sun. The problem is that during an eclipse, because it's dark in the background, people are more likely to think that it's safe to look at it, and it doesn't take much time looking at the sun directly for it to cause eye damage. So it's just as damaging during an eclipse as it is during the regular sunlight. It's just more likely to be done during an eclipse.
The next eclipse for us is 2024, and it will be even more special because we will have totality, or at least we'll be very close to the totality where you will be able to see the entire the ring, the diamond ring would appear, and you'll be able to, it'll be dark, the whole sky will be dark. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sunglasses are not safe because you can see too much light through them. Once you get into like welding shields and welding goggles, if they are sufficiently dark and if they block enough light, then they become safe.
Because the last solar eclipse had occurred 23 years ago, the viewing patterns they used were different than what we had today.
The only way we could see anything that was happening was to create a pinhole box out of a cereal box. So you take the pinhole and the light would shine through, and then you would be able to see the shadow move across the sun. The cool thing about this one was that we could actually look up at the sky, and it was sort of this surreal thing because you could see the whole moon travel across. It wasn't just a shadow on the ground. It was you're looking up with your eyes, and so it was just sort of more meaningful that way.
When I was young, we didn't look through telescopes. We would use the pinhole viewers that some people were looking at, and we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the wide availability of materials like we do today, so we didn't usually have the glasses, so to say, to watch them. So it was mostly through pinhole viewers or by standing under a tree. Because when you stand under a tree, actually the leaves will act like pinhole viewers and cause hundreds of little eclipse images to form on the ground.
Due to the advancements in technology, everyone was able to get the same experience to view the eclipse.
There were live streams all over the country, and you could see things happening live, and you really felt the energy from everybody else experiencing that thing all together. So for a brief minute, we forgot about all the garbage that was going on in the world, and we were just kind of focusing on something cool.
For any further questions about the upcoming eclipse, stop by Mr. Steverson's room to learn more. For HHS In Depth, I'm Kelsey Nutter.
On Monday, August 28th, Audio Aficionados is back for another year of listening to influential and important music. This year, we will be listening to Green Day, Fugazi, Metallica, Otis Redding, and a whole lot more. If you want to learn about the world of popular music, get out to room 600 at 2:45 every Monday.
On Wednesday, August 30th, Photography Club is having their first meeting of the school year after school in room 104. If you love taking pictures, go see what the club is all about. They'll be welcoming new members and talking about plans for the upcoming year, and snacks will be provided.
The Homestead Student Section t-shirts are in and will be distributed next week at lunch in the concession stands just outside the cafeteria. If you pre-ordered your shirt at registration, you'll pick it up there. There will be a select few on sale for $10 at the same time.
Any girl interested in trying out for the Homestead girls basketball team this year needs to attend a short informational meeting today at 2:40 in room 523.
Over the summer, some Homestead students got the unique opportunity to travel to Costa Rica to learn more about speaking Spanish and culture. Here's reporter Michaela Godfrey with the story.
Over the course of the summer, a group of Homestead students got the unique opportunity to travel overseas to Costa Rica to improve their ability to speak Spanish while trying new things.
We took the students ziplining one day, and we've done ziplining in the past when we've gone to Costa Rica, but this time they had a short little bridge at the end of the ziplining adventure, and you had the chance to jump off that bridge and have free fall for like 3 or 4 seconds before you slowed down and kind of repelled to the bottom where there was a big mattress waiting. So that was a surprise even for me, and it was probably the biggest adrenaline rush of the entire trip.
The group enjoyed many of the different aspects of the trip, but the interactions with the locals stood out to them the most.
My favorite part about the trip to Costa Rica probably was the day that we took the students to visit an elementary school, and we had about 2 hours there to interact with the students, to play soccer, to play frisbee. Some of the students also took materials to make bracelets, so they made friendship bracelets, but it was really cool to see them spend 2 hours interacting with the young Costa Rican students.
Playing soccer with the kids, spent a couple hours there doing different activities with them.
Getting to know the people I was on the trip with, and also the people who were like helping us, who lived in Costa Rica too, and just learning about their lifestyle.
Experiencing all the Costa Rican culture and improving my Spanish.
Every 2 years, Homestead students in Spanish classes get the chance to travel abroad, and every destination for the trip is chosen by Señor Peeper, which includes places that are beneficial in the education of Spanish language as well as its culture.
The Spanish they speak in Costa Rica, for the most part, is pretty easy to understand, so it's a good spot for students to really be able to apply their skills and to understand what people are saying when they talk.
If you're interested in studying abroad, talk to Señor Peeper in room 611. For HHS In Depth, I'm Michaela Godfrey.
This year's sports director on HHS In Depth is Garrett Willis, and here's the first episode of his weekly segment, The 2-Minute Drill. This week, you'll learn about our girls' golf team, as well as hear from the student section leaders about tonight's game.
Hello, Homestead. I'm Austin Render with another edition of the Sports Corner.
Oh, hello Homestead, I'm Garrett Willis, and this is your first ever edition of the 2-Minute Drill. Apparently my graphics haven't quite caught up yet. Joe Sweimeller, can you change graphics here? They're not right. Perfect, thank you. Now here on the 2-Minute Drill, we'll be doing things a bit differently than what we saw in the past. Every week, we'll be showcasing one athletic team here at Homestead and see how their season's been going so far. Then we'll be offering a rundown of some of the athletic events from the past week. On today's segment, we'll take a look at Homestead's state-ranked girls golf team as they look to make their second straight trip to the IHSAA state finals, followed by Luke Lale and Chandler Rowan talking about tonight's student section theme for the home football game.
The girls golf team has teed off in their season, being the first IHSAA sport to start back in July. The only event they have not won up to this point was the state preview this month, as they have established themselves as the premier team in Northeast Indiana.
The season is going great. We are undefeated except for at the state preview. We got 7th, and those are really good teams that we're playing against, the Indy teams.
While you may not see the team practicing after school on the HHS campus, they still have spent countless hours at Chestnut Hills preparing for matches.
We all work so hard because we know what our goal in the end is. We want to win a state championship, and so every time we come out to the course, there's always girls there working and practicing.
These girls, I take my hat off to them. They work so hard. I golf a lot myself, and every day I'd come out to Chestnut, and there'd be 6, 7, 8 girls out here working.
The team has set the bar high for themselves, as they all have goals for the state championship in October.
Some of my goals, I'd love to stay in the 70s for the rest of the season. I've had a couple of high rounds, but I'd love to really just keep it low and get back to what I've been doing.
The end goal for the team, I think that would be to get top 4 at state. Definitely, I think that we are in the top 4 in the state.
While all the girls work hard, Coach Yale is there to lighten up the mood.
I don't know what they said, but I'm sure that the girls have criticized or laughed about how much I talk about my cats.
He has a sticker on the back of his car that says Cat Mom, Cat Dad, Jorge, and Javi, and those are 2 cats. So
I would say anything about his cats. He likes to pull up pictures of his cats and like talk to them. I don't know, it's weird. And then he talks about The Bachelor a lot, so that's kind of weird.
More than any man should ever admit, I do love The Bachelorette, and I was very disappointed at the end of the season.
Be sure to come out and catch the girls sometime this season, as they will next play in the Hall of Fame Invitational at Purdue University tomorrow.
So, Chandler, what are you doing this weekend?
You know, I've just been training for my ping pong tournament and getting ready for the whole game and just been chilling. How about you?
I got my first hot yoga Lattes class coming up, you know, at the Y. I'm pretty excited. But tonight, you know, we got to... Whoa. This island scene reminds me of the game tonight.
The game?
Yeah, at home, 7 o'clock against Concordia. Be there, Hawaiian.
And now we'll take a look around what's been happening in Spartan athletics with some of the best highlights from this last week.
To start off this week's highlights, we go out to Spooler Stadium as Homestead takes on the Northrop Bruins in this week's SAC season opening matchup. Starting off in the first quarter of play, you see Jai Wright passing over there to Keon Reeder, takes it all the way to the house for the score to get Homestead on the board. At this point, down 14-7. Next to go later on in the quarter, Jai Wright throwing a pass down the right side of the field. That one is also caught for the touchdown. That one even up the score at 14. Now we go ahead to the second half. Jai Wright looking down the middle of the field. Long pass to Taylor is complete. He'll take it all the way house for the 70-yard score. That one put Homestead ahead once again, 23-21. And they would hold on to win this game with a final score of 43-23. Now we'll transition over to Chestnut Hills as the girls golf team takes on Huntington North in a two-way match. See Emma Schroeder right there. Now over to Morgan DeBeja, wedging up on the third hole right here after her first putt that goes to about 3 feet. She'll tap in for par right here. She'll finish the match with the low score of the round as Homestead wins this match away from Huntington North. So we'll go to our last event of the week here on the Weekly Sports Highlights. The boys tennis team travels to Canterbury to take on the Cavaliers. We see Will Milne and company right here rallying to win their doubles match as Homestead would be able to take this match against the Cavaliers 5-0.
Be sure to come out to tonight's home football game against Concordia, and also good luck to the boys tennis team as they compete at Indianapolis North Central, volleyball at Carroll, cross country at Penn, and girls golf at the Hall of Fame Invitational at Purdue, and the boys soccer team at Avon. Your quote of the week by Michael Jordan, as he said, "Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it and go through it or work around it." That'll do it for this week's edition of the 2-Minute Drill. I'm Garrett Willis. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Friday.
Well, that wraps up this edition of HHS In Depth. I'm Jack Adams.
And I'm Ellie Davis. Thank you for watching today.
At this time of the show, we like to bring you the picture of the week, but we need your submissions to get them up and running.
To have your photo in the running for Picture of the Week, just email us a high-resolution photo in landscape mode with your name and grade level to hhsindepth@gmail.com.
At the end of each show, we leave you with a song exclusive to Homestead's radio station, The Point 91 FM.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.